years?
Right, well, it'll be twice as big for a start. Instead of 4 periods a week, we have 8 periods a week. It's rolling out year 7 and 8. And we've also got ahead with our resourcing, really, that we're getting together a pool of expert resources we can call in as and when in response to learner need. We've got this idea about learning just in time rather than just in case. And so we've found some funding to gather some experts, already CRB checked, so someone who perhaps was a welder, someone who was a dancer, whatever you can think of really. We can anticipate a lot of needs in advance. If we get that sorted out organisationally, then when the real eclectic needs come, somebody wanting, I don't know, to do something on yoga or whatever it is, who knows what learners will come up with in terms of their learning need, we can actually respond to that and get someone in for an expert session or get a podcast off someone. However we get that specialist input, we need that to be there, and we're planning for that. Year 7 My World is getting cracking now. There's a kind of false dawn with the introduction we do, because we want them to have certain understandings and knowledges and certain theories on board to operate during the project-based stuff and the island stuff. And so we do thinking hats, thinking maps, we do transaction analysis. So that phase is over and everyone's really keen to get stuck in. The plane crash has happened now, people are stranded, and we're getting to actually use these learning tools more actively. So that's at a good place. To be honest, I would be uncomfortable still about the first half term for Year 7 My World in terms of the introduction, which is pretty didactic and a bit of a false dawn. And in terms of Jean's term form and function, the form and the function seem at variance. That's not to say we want didactic teaching. That's part of it, that's part of the menu, it's an important part, but it seems front-loaded, and there's a kind of variance there between message and how we're doing things, and I think that tension needs to be resolved. Year 8, the project, I think it is at an even better place really. It's stronger. These are learners who have had My World in Year 7, they're now in Year 8, and they get it, they get the mission, they understand more about exactly what the value is from doing it. And their projects are really showing significant improvement over some of the project work done previously within My World. There's been more pressure on to justify exactly what a learner wants to learn about.
So we've been doing a project about, you got to like bring in an object, but it could be like a house or a place or a photo or something. And I brought in a karate medal, and you've got to like tell about how it relates to you, and what emotions are attached to it, and we've got to like do a presentation about it near Christmas to like, we've got to go I think it might be the town hall probably, and talk to like people in the community like policemen and school government and everything to tell them about what we've learnt about our object.
We've chosen an object that's important to us for different reasons. I've got a house that's in Ireland. It's the house that my nan grew up in, and it's important to my family because quite a few members of my family have died from that house, so that's our only memory. So we just have to make a presentation about it, kind of like what we did last year, but it's a lot more challenging this year, and we have to think a lot more and do more research. It's not something that you already know about. So.
In My World,
we plan the lessons.
Literally, we plan the lessons. They listen, because remember that time Miss Norman wanted to show us something, and then she went, well, have you got any work you need to do? And we're like, well, yeah, some of us need to go on the computer, some of us need to do a bit of drawing, and she was like, oh, we can show it later if we have time then. Yeah. So we did have time later, so we showed it then, and we were all more
concentrated on that instead
we all
of
wanted
thinking
to
about
sort
our
of
work.
more wanted to listen. We wanted to watch it more because we got all our work done and finished, and it was a lot better because she listened to what we'd said in the first place.
We were clear that this was experimentation, and a part of the whole point was to change teachers as well as help kids learn. It was helping teachers learn too. So we've always been clear about this as being experimentation, and it was for the teachers as much as the kids. And the learning with teachers is definitely going well. People are getting much more subtle in their understanding of how we can manage learning. Also going well is that everyone wants to be in. The only problems we've had are staff who aren't teaching My World being irritated by that. We had a staff residential a couple of weekends ago to look at where we were up to with the learning agenda in My World, and 30 of 50 staff came for a weekend just to think and talk and read and stuff, which was really good. And the learners, mostly good reaction. You'd get lots of feedback about it's nice being able to make choices. You'd get feedback about it's nice to be able to move around in the classroom, which has just completely surprised me, how much I understand. From kids who you would have down as the traditionally academic curriculum able kids, who sit perfectly politely and pleasantly through most lessons, but actually they really enjoy not doing that. I've also been really struck by the we need to make stuff feedback from all kids, again, not just some stereotypical group of, ham-fisted boys or something. Again, some classically academically able kids as well really like making stuff. And since the talk from San Diego, really linked into the hands and heads stuff. An outcome for us from that is we've changed where technology is going in our post-BSF building, and technology will now have a very central ground floor location so that everything goes past technology and the making spaces. Some not so good stuff. I still think that a number of students find the you have to think for yourself end of it a real challenge. We have created the dependency culture. Primary schools are probably doing it worse. They used to do it. They used to be good at resisting it. And kids arrive fairly dependent now, and traditionally secondary schools keep them there. And getting out of that's uncomfortable for kids at times. I think, the downside at the moment for learners who don't like it, if you like, don't like bits where the challenge level about you're going to have to work this out for yourself are really high. And there are definitely kids who struggle with that at times.